The crimson light of Xyler Prime, filtered through the obsidian viewport of the Grand Conclave, painted the faces of the Krell Council in shades of blood and shadow. Their bodies, colossal masses of crystalline structures and bioluminescent tendrils, shifted uneasily in the low gravity, a silent symphony of apprehension echoing through the chamber. For cycles, the Council had debated the anomaly, the nascent threat that had erupted from the galactic fringes. Now the projected image shimmered before them, a celestial body, dwarfing even their own homeworld, fractured and spewing incandescent energy. And the source, the herald of this cosmic upheaval, was the unknown species that called themselves humans. Grand Archon Xyler, his central crystalline core throbbing with a disquieting rhythm, addressed the hushed chamber. His voice, a resonating pulse of pure energy, filled the vast space. The data is unsettling. The initial scans were dismissed as minor geological events, localized tremors, but the energy signature, the intensity, has been steadily increasing. What we see before us is a planetary cataclysm, a world torn asunder, and the core of the event lies within the system designated Sol. His words hung in the air, heavy with unspoken dread. Xyler's crystalline form pulsed again, the color deepening to a violent red. Across the chamber, the ambassador of the Krill, a being of perpetual twilight and shifting shadows, hissed softly, a sound like dry leaves skittering across a desert plain. The reports speak of a weapon, a device of such raw destructive power that it destabilized the planet's core. The very idea is barbaric. The Krill, known throughout the galaxy for their mastery of stealth and manipulation, were masters of information, and their whispers often carried the sting of truth. Their words fueled the paranoia that was already festering within the Council. Another voice, a melodic chime from the Cygnus representative, cut through the tension. But why? What purpose could such wanton destruction serve? Is this a declaration of war, an act of lunacy? The Cygnus were the philosophers of the galaxy, their long, slender bodies radiating a gentle light, their thoughts attuned to the delicate balance of the cosmos. Their pronouncements were always measured, their concern rooted in the preservation of life and the pursuit of understanding. Yet even their tranquil tones held a note of unease. The Archon's crystalline core throbbed again, a deeper, resonant pulse. We have observed their transmissions, their language. It is chaotic, fragmented. They speak of concepts we do not comprehend. War, conquest, domination. They seem driven by a force that defies our understanding. He paused, allowing the gravity of his words to settle. And yet there are whispers of something else, of innovation, of potential. The Council fell into a silence punctuated only by the low hum of the energy containment fields that held the chamber together. Their minds grappled with the implications, the potential for destruction, the unknown nature of this new species. The Krill ambassador shifted, his shadows deepening. They are a threat, a destabilizing force. We must contain them. The Cygnus representative, its light dimming slightly, countered gently. Containment is a path fraught with risk. We know so little of their capabilities, their motivations. Perhaps communication is the wiser course. The debate raged for cycles, the arguments echoing through the chamber, each faction clinging to their established positions. The Krell, built on a foundation of order and predictability, were deeply unsettled by the chaos that humanity represented. The Krill saw a potential threat to their dominance, a threat they instinctively sought to eliminate. The Cygnus, however, clung to the hope of understanding, the possibility of peaceful coexistence. The Archon, bound by his duty to the safety of his people, found himself torn between his fears and his curiosity. Meanwhile, in the depths of the Sol system, a single ship, the *Uns Dawnbreaker*, drifted silently, its sensors meticulously gathering data on the shattered remains of the planet designated as Earth. Inside, a crew of humans, dressed in utilitarian gray uniforms, moved with a quiet efficiency that belied the monumental task before them. Commander Eva Rostova, her face etched with a mixture of grief and determination, stood on the bridge, gazing out at the celestial carnage. The air hummed with the soft whir of machinery, the gentle click of control panels, the hushed voices of the crew. "Report, Lieutenant Chen," she said, her voice calm and steady. "Sensor readings stable, Commander. Debris field analysis complete. The core implosion was catastrophic." "Minimal chance of survivors," Chen replied, his voice devoid of emotion, yet reflecting the same sorrow in his eyes. Rostova nodded slowly. "Confirm the data on the primary anomaly, the energy signature." "Confirmed, Commander. The signature is complex. It fluctuates, indicating multiple energy sources. It's unlike anything we've encountered." Rostova turned her gaze back to the ruined planet. They were warned, they knew the risks, and yet. She trailed off, her thoughts a tangled mix of regret and resolve. The decision to fire the railgun, the weapon of last resort, had been a desperate gamble, a gamble that had irrevocably altered the course of their civilization. But it had been necessary. The impending threat of the Xylar invasion, the alien force that threatened to extinguish all life on Earth, had left them with no other option. "Prepare the long-range communication array," Rostova instructed. "We need to make contact, tell them. We are not what they think." The crew moved with practiced precision, initiating the complex protocols required for interstellar communication. Rostova felt a weight settle on her shoulders, the responsibility for humanity's future, the burden of first contact, the chilling thought of being judged by alien eyes. This mission, their first foray beyond the boundaries of their system, was fraught with danger. They were going into the unknown, carrying the scars of their past, armed with a knowledge that could reshape the galaxy. Back in the Grand Conclave, the debate continued, the arguments growing more heated with each passing cycle. The Krill, pushing for immediate action, argued that the destruction of a planet was proof enough of humanity's aggressive nature. The Cygnus, however, insisted on caution, advocating for further observation and potential diplomacy. The Archon, caught between the two extremes, felt the pressure of his responsibility intensify. He knew that the Council's decision would have far-reaching consequences, shaping not only the future of his people, but also the destiny of the galaxy itself. Then, a signal, faint yet undeniable, pierced the electronic chaos of the chamber. A transmission originating from the Sol system, reaching across the void of space. The Krill hissed, their shadows shifting with agitation. The Cygnus pulsed with an increased light, its curiosity piqued. The Archon's core throbbed with a mixture of fear and anticipation. "Decode it," he commanded, his voice resonating with an authority that silenced the chamber. The chamber fell silent as the Council waited. The decoding process began, and slowly a clear transmission began to come through, resolving into a language that no one had ever heard before. As the message resolved, a calm, clear voice filled the chamber. It was a human voice. The message was simple, direct, and unexpected. "To the occupants of the Grand Conclave, we are the United Nations of Earth. We are here to offer peace." The words hung in the air, echoing through the chamber, silencing all arguments. The Krill ambassador fell back, their shadowy form retreating. The Cygnus pulsed with a calm light. The Archon's core throbbed with a different rhythm, a rhythm that was less of fear and more of curiosity. He glanced at the data projected on the viewing screens, a small vessel, insignificant in the grand scale of the cosmos, but emitting a signal of such clarity, such unexpected calmness. "Begin a full spectrum analysis of the vessel," he ordered, his voice taking on a new tone, "and prepare a response. Inform them we accept their offer." The mood in the chamber had completely changed. As the Asterisk Dawnbreaker transmitted its message, Commander Rostova oversaw preparations for the diplomatic mission. Inside the ship, the crew's preparations were deliberate, their actions reflecting their intent to come across as calm, collected, and non-threatening. They had prepared for every scenario, meticulously reviewing every piece of data, every possible cultural nuance. Rostova knew they were walking a tightrope, balancing the need to assert their strength with the imperative to avoid conflict. "Deploy the diplomatic envoy team," she instructed. "Ensure all protocols are observed. Let them see the best of humanity." A team of 5 carefully selected personnel, led by Ambassador Anya Sharma, a woman of exceptional diplomatic skills and a keen understanding of other cultures, prepared to depart. They wore simple, functional uniforms, designed to avoid any sense of intimidation or aggression. Their faces, calm and open, reflected their dedication to their mission. They carried no weapons, only communication devices and a few carefully chosen gifts, designed to symbolize peace and understanding. As the Asterisk Dawnbreaker approached the designated meeting point, the crew held their breath, waiting for the first contact. In the Grand Conclave, the Council prepared to receive the human envoy. The chamber had been cleared of weapons, and the atmosphere was one of cautious anticipation. The Archon, flanked by his counselors, stood at the center of the chamber, his crystalline core radiating a steady, powerful light. He was ready to face the unknown, to meet these enigmatic humans face to face. The human vessel approached the Grand Conclave, and a small shuttle detached and approached the designated docking bay. As the shuttle docked and the ramp lowered, the 5-member team, led by Ambassador Sharma, emerged. Their movements were slow, measured, and respectful. Their faces were open, showing neither fear nor arrogance, only a quiet determination. They stood for a moment, letting the eyes of the Council and the entire Grand Conclave take them in. The Krill representative was clearly agitated, shifting nervously in its seat. The Cygnus representative seemed calm and thoughtful, studying the humans. Ambassador Sharma stepped forward and spoke, her voice clear and resonant, a language that had been painstakingly translated by both sides. Greetings, Council of the Krell. We come in peace, we come to offer understanding. We are the United Nations of Earth. The room held its breath, waiting for the first response, the first move. The tension was so thick you could cut it with a knife. Archon Xyler, after a moment of consideration, gestured with a crystalline appendage. Welcome, humans. Your arrival is unexpected. We have many questions. Ambassador Sharma nodded. We understand. We have much to explain. But first, we would like to offer a gift, a symbol of our intentions. With a gesture, she motioned to her team, who produced a small, intricately crafted device, a model of the human solar system, complete with moving planets and a representation of their destroyed home planet. As the model started working, the Krell gasped in surprise and understanding. The Archon acknowledged the gift with a barely perceptible nod. Your gesture is appreciated. Tell us, human, what caused the destruction of your world? Ambassador Sharma's face remained neutral, her voice steady. A weapon, Archon, a weapon of last resort. We were facing an existential threat, a force that, if allowed to continue, would have ended all life. The Railgun. The words hung in the air, the implications settling over the chamber. The Krill hissed, their shadows shifting. The Cygnus shimmered slightly, their thoughts unreadable. The Archon's core pulsed with renewed concern. The destruction of your own world to save yourselves? He asked. A difficult choice. A necessary one, Sharma replied. We lost everything, but we preserved the hope of the future. We believe that sacrifice is the ultimate act of peace, and we are here to rebuild, to learn, and to prevent such events from ever happening again. For several cycles, the Council engaged in extensive discussions with the human delegation. The humans explained their history, their social structures, their philosophies, and their technological capabilities. They presented data on their own technology, carefully omitting details of the railgun which they recognized might cause undue alarm. They spoke of the principles that guided them, logic, ethics, and a commitment to the greater good. They shared their understanding of the universe, their art, their music, and their literature. The Krell Council, in turn, subjected the humans to rigorous scrutiny. They analyzed their data, studied their behavior, and probed their intentions. They discovered that humans, despite their chaotic nature, possessed a remarkable capacity for innovation, adaptability, and resilience. They were driven by a desire to explore, to understand, and to create. They displayed a surprising sense of empathy and a willingness to cooperate. As the discussions progressed, the initial fear and suspicion began to dissipate, replaced by a growing respect, and in some cases, even admiration. The Krill, initially opposed to any alliance, found themselves strangely compelled by the humans' ingenuity and resourcefulness, and slowly conceded to the humans' reasoning. The Cygnus, already drawn to the humans' pursuit of knowledge, found common ground in their shared appreciation for the wonders of the universe. The Archon, seeing the potential for a new age of cooperation and progress, began to envision a future where humans and the Krell could work together for the betterment of the galaxy. One of the turning points in the negotiations came when the humans revealed the true nature of their scientific prowess. The humans unveiled their interstellar communication systems, their methods for efficient energy production, and the ability to travel faster than light. The humans also explained their concepts of advanced medicine and resource management. The Krell were astounded. The humans had not just been rebuilding, they were innovating at a pace the Krell had not seen in centuries. In the midst of the Council, the humans presented their most impressive technological achievement, the Genesis Project. It was a planetary restoration technology that could heal any planet by converting all the destroyed material into useful resources. The Council members were stunned by the presentation. The potential for the future of the galaxy increased tenfold with such a discovery. However, the humans did not just offer technological gifts, they had more to show the Krell. In a subsequent series of presentations, the humans revealed their understanding of the very fabric of the cosmos. The human scientists had discovered a way to navigate and manipulate the very building blocks of the universe, which was only rivaled by the Cygnus race, who studied space and time for thousands of years. The Krell Council was once again shocked by the scale of the human ambitions. Yet despite all the technological marvels, the humans continued to emphasize their adherence to ethical principles. They presented their legal systems, their social reforms, and their efforts to protect the rights of all living beings. They spoke of a future where conflict would be replaced by cooperation, where poverty and suffering would be eradicated, and where the universe would be explored and understood together. Then came the grand reveal. Humans, through a slow, cinematic reveal, outlined their strategic capabilities. Commander Rostova, speaking remotely from the Dawnbreaker addressed the Council via a secure channel. We understand your concerns about our capabilities, our potential. We understand that our actions may have caused alarm. We want to assure you we are not a threat. We did what we had to do to survive, but we are not driven by conquest. We are driven by a different kind of ambition. She paused, her image projected onto the grand screen, her face serious, her eyes reflecting the vastness of space. We have the capacity to inflict unimaginable destruction. We have the technology to reshape entire systems, but we choose not to. We choose not to because we believe in something greater. We believe in the power of unity, the strength of diversity, the importance of life. We are offering an alliance not to conquer, but to protect. We have developed a network of defenses which would be the greatest in the known universe, and we are willing to share these with you. The Krill ambassador shifted, his shadows stirring. The Cygnus representative pulsed with a gentle light. The Archon's core radiated a steady, powerful glow. The silence in the chamber was profound, the weight of the decision pressing upon them. The humans then revealed their ultimate strategy, the strategic integration of humans, Krell, and other friendly species to create a united defense front. They provided the Council with a demonstration of their combined defense capabilities. Using advanced simulations, they demonstrated how the joint forces could work together to counter any potential threat from the galaxy's enemies. The Council was amazed at their detailed planning and impressive execution. Finally, the Archon spoke, his voice resonating through the chamber. You offer an alliance, a path toward a shared future. He looked around the chamber at the faces of his counselors, at the representatives of the other races, and finally back at the projected image of Commander Rostova. We accept your alliance. We shall stand together, united. The chamber erupted in a wave of sound, a collective sigh of relief, of hope, of a shared understanding. The Krill, though still cautious, grudgingly acknowledged the wisdom of the decision. The Cygnus radiated with joy, their light encompassing the chamber. The humans on the Dawnbreaker emitted a collective cheer. But the moment of triumph was short-lived. A new signal echoing across the vast expanse of space pierced the celebratory atmosphere. A signal so old, so ancient, that it predated even the oldest civilizations in the galaxy. A signal that sent a chill down the spines of the entire Council. It was a warning. The signal was faint, distorted, and difficult to decipher, but the message was clear. An ancient intelligence, a cosmic entity of unimaginable power, was stirring in the shadows of the universe. It was a threat far greater than any previously imagined. It was a force that consumed entire galaxies. The Council, once so concerned with the potential threat of humanity, realized that they had underestimated them. The humans, with their ingenuity, their ethical principles, their unwavering commitment to unity, were not a threat, but a beacon of hope, a potential savior. Their actions, their choices, the sacrifice they made to survive, all of this pointed to a strength that the galaxy desperately needed. The Archon, his crystalline core throbbing with a newfound urgency, looked at the human ambassador, his expression changed with respect and hope. Humanity, we were wrong. You are not a threat. You are our only hope. Ambassador Sharma met the Archon's gaze, her face resolute. We are ready, Archon. We will fight. We will face the darkness together. The stage was set. The humans, once seen as a potential threat, were now embraced as allies, as saviors. The universe held its breath, waiting to witness the greatest conflict in history. The fate of the galaxy, the fate of all living beings, rested on the shoulders of the unlikely alliance of humanity and the Krell, bound together by a shared understanding, a shared fear, and a shared hope for a future beyond the stars. The camera pulled back, revealing the vast expanse of the Grand Conclave, the alien representatives of every species, standing shoulder to shoulder with the humans. The camera then panned slowly, showing all of their faces filled with worry, fear, and determination. A single tear rolled down Ambassador Sharma's face as the story moved forward. Then, from the Dawnbreaker Commander Rostova's voice, calm and steady, filled the chamber. All hands, battle stations, prepare for Phase 1. Because when humanity fired its first railgun, no one in the galaxy could find the words to describe what was to come. The camera pulled back again. The last frame lingered on the faces of the humans and the Krell, a picture of unity and determination, a new beginning forged in the face of an existential threat. The fate of the universe rested on their shoulders, and in the hearts of both, a shared hope flickered, a hope for a future where peace could truly flourish. The screen fades to black. As the ships left the docking bay, the last scene showed the Dawnbreaker heading into the void of space. The crew members were silent, but they were not afraid. They had faced destruction, and they had come through. They knew the challenges they had to face and the great odds that they would need to overcome. But this time they were not alone. The crew moved with a renewed purpose. They had a mission, a cause, and on their shoulders the future of the galaxy rested. They are ready to answer the call. The humans, with their resilience, their courage, and their unwavering belief in the power of unity, were ready to face the unknown. They are ready to lead the way. As the asterisk Dawnbreaker went faster into the abyss, the human ships and the alien ships flew behind it. A new alliance had formed. This galaxy will never be the same again. As the ships disappeared into the darkness, a single thought echoed in the minds of every human. The universe needed them. They were ready. The humans knew their path, and they were ready to take the next step. From the bridge of the asterisk Dawnbreaker asterisk, Commander Rostova stared out into the vast expanse of space, her gaze filled with determination. She knew the dangers ahead, the challenges they would face. But she also knew that they were not alone. They had the Krell, the Krill, the Cygnus, and all those who stood with them, united by a shared purpose. She felt a deep sense of responsibility, but also a profound sense of hope. The humans and the aliens were ready. The camera focused on the crew. They prepared themselves, knowing what was coming next. The whole galaxy would be united, and all of them were ready to fight for their survival. The ending scene showed a montage of the combined forces preparing for battle, the alien and human technologies merging, the human and alien philosophies intertwining. The montage ended with the asterisk Dawnbreaker charging ahead, ready to lead the charge. The last frame stayed focused on the image of the humans and the aliens working together, both now aware that no one was alone. The future was now theirs to shape, and humanity, despite its flaws, was ready to take its place among the stars. As the asterisk Dawnbreaker sped forward, the final shot showed a single star, a beacon of hope in the vast darkness. The camera then cut to black.